A biblical perspective on life, culture and current events. This is 2020 on Vision.
Here's a challenge for you. If you're looking for a place to put your skills to work for a great ministry cause, Mission Aviation Fellowship, MAF, they've been serving missions around the world and in some of the most inaccessible places for the past 75 years. Well, the Mission Aviation Fellowship Arnhem Land team and their mission partners are housed in something like 25 homes spread across the expansive region of the Northern Territory. Now, several of these residences require significant repairs. Now, the workload for the upgrade surpasses the capacity of the local team. So, there is a plan for the process of doing repairs on 25 homes. It's being driven by Trevor Hammersley, who's working with MAF. And joining us in the conversation now also is Andrew Neilson, the Facilities Manager of MAF in Arnhem Land. First of all, a welcome along to you, Trevor.
Afternoon, Neil. Thank you very, very much for the opportunity to chat.
And Andrew Neilson, welcome to you.
Yeah, good afternoon, Neil, to you as well. Thank you.
Trevor, let me come to you first. You've obviously downed tools in your regular day-to-day activity and you're on the ground in Arnhem Land and you're getting ready to do a whole lot of major work on these 25 homes. Just give us a description of what you're up against.
Yeah, thanks, Neil. So look, let's just paint a bit of a picture. So obviously the Arnhem Land team in Arnhem Land serving the community there. They've been doing that for 50 years. Some of these houses have been there that long, and some, and they're definitely showing their worst for wear, I guess is the word. And what we're trying to do is bring a team of tradespeople to town to be able to tackle some of these bigger jobs that Andrew can't do by himself. I've got involved simply because Andrew and I are mates, and I'm obviously aware of the workload that's required, and thought, you know what, these houses need support. It's something we should be able to do as a community, and to be able to serve our frontline missionaries and give them somewhere decent to come home to. And I sort of had a conversation with God, and God said, well, you know, if you're not going to do anything about it, why not? So that's how I got involved, and we're hoping, like I say, to put together a team of tradies to head to Arnhem Land to make a first start. This is going to be the first of a number of trips, I feel, to make a dent in this work. And the first trip's going to be in August, and potentially another one September, October.
Well, let's consider this conversation a conversation between mates who are saying, hey, guys, there's a job to do over here. Who's available to down tools what you're doing and come and lend a hand? Andrew Neilson, you're the Facilities Manager, MAF Arnhem Land, and you're typically in charge of the maintenance on these 25 homes. Now, don't hold back here. What's the condition of the houses that need to have these repairs?
Look, I've come from down in the southern parts of Australia. That's where I originate from. The housing standard down there is very different to what we see up here. Having said that, though, there's a context of what we see here. We don't always see the standard of housing of what we see down south. Having said that, they are, as Trev said, quite aged, and they've had some repairs over the years. I think they could do with something which could see them well and truly into the future and prolong the work of MAF in the area. We have obviously quite a few staff. Staff consist of like pilots, engineers. We've got a lot of administration staff as well. So we have a number of houses which require upgrade, and that's for the sustenance of the staff here on the ground and subsequently the work that MAF do.
And when you're in isolated locations and you're in mission, you're enabling the missionaries to do their work. The work of Mission Aviation Fellowship, just outstanding. So when it comes to the houses, they're in disrepair. Some of them been there, as you say, around 50 years. No doubt some of them are a bit newer than that too. But, what sort of maintenance has to be done on them? Is it just a fresh coat of paint, or is it there some major structural detail as well?
Look, Look, it does vary across the board. There are most homes are in need of a kitchen. They're fairly they show signs of wear and tear. The kitchen sort of falling apart. You can imagine worn laminate, lots and lots of wear over the years. The floor surfaces are the same. So the replacement of those sorts of things. Bathrooms are quite aged in most houses. It'd be great to sort of get some work in the bathrooms as well. We do have a scope of works on a number of houses, so we know what needs to be done. That's pretty average work up here, that kind of stuff. A lick of paint, sure thing, that's great. A little bit more than that sometimes is required. Just something where when people come home from work, and it's tiring work up here with the heat, they can just have a sense of home and a sense of belonging and a sense of just feeling valued in the work that they do.
Let me ask you, Trevor, because you're there ready to get your sleeves rolled up and get into the work, what people might anticipate a missionary should expect when they go and work in the mission field. And no doubt it's not some sort of extravagant mansion that these missionaries are going to be living in, but you do want to have a certain standard. What sort of certain standard do you think you'd like to aim at with these upgrades?
Yeah, great question, Neil. So, look, we've been sharing, obviously, what we're going to do with a number of people, and I think the most consistent comment we get with this, one of the major projects we're aiming at hitting in August, from the tradings that I've shown, is why aren't we putting a bulldozer through this thing? I'm not joking. That is the common sort of response. This particular house that we want to hit isn't flash, like we're talking about wanting to re-roof it. We're talking about new kitchens, as Andrew said, bathrooms, floor coverings. There's holes in walls. I found some live sort of wires, some nasty stuff, yeah. I think, here's me. I don't live in a great mansion, but I live in a comfortable home, and I think that's something that's a reasonable expectation that our missionary should have. We're not asking for the Taj Mahal. We're not trying to be something really flash. But there's been a lot of money spent in the community by the government over the last couple of years for the Indigenous housing and for the communities in East Arnhem Land. All we're saying is let's see if we can bring the same standard to bear and try and improve things a little bit, make them comfortable, as Andrew said, make people feel valued. And I really hope that we can put a huge team of people together that just blows the socks off the guys in Arnhem Land and makes them really appreciate that, there's people out there that care, they're praying for them, but also will step up and actually do something to support them with the skills that God's blessed them with.
Okay, we're talking about 25 missionary houses, and it's not like they're overseas, they're on our shores. In Arnhem Land in the Northern Territory, they need some pretty major upgrades, and I know that will, of course, the attention of some people listening when you say that, Trev. You're asking the question, why weren't we putting a bulldozer through this thing? Well, you've got to resurrect something here and make this livable, because these are important dwellings for missionaries who are serving in one of the most important missions, Mission Aviation Fellowship. Andrew, so what's needed? What trades do you need to be in touch with you at the end of our conversation now?
Look, we're looking for a range of trades, obviously plumbers, electricians. We do have some trades in town. They're very hard to come by. They're quite a burden on our budget. And if we can get them, it's a choice of only a few. And they certainly can state their prices. We're looking for plumbers, electricians, carpenters, painters, plasterers. You got it. We want it. I'd love to sort of, screen and see what people have got to offer, work through, as, just the skills that people have, and to utilise that in some way in our context, it would be fantastic.
Trevor, you mentioned the month of August, a cooler month in the Northern Territory. Is this when you say we've got to get the planets to align here? You've got tradies all arriving. You've got to give a little bit of notice in the lead up to this so people can plan their lives and down tools in what they're doing now and get ready for a mission endeavour for the month of August. How do you think that month is going to look?
Yeah, so look, at the moment we've got a couple of projects on the books to go, and it's a bit chicken and egg because it's asking for help, seeing who turns up, then trying to plan the work to fit the skills. It's a bit roundabout, but what we're hoping to do is if we can get the right skills, then let's tackle a couple of these projects in August, and then also if funds are available, September, October, another major project. The idea, I guess, Neil, is we really want to probably start with the top. We're going to rip the roof off this building. We're going to resheet the roof, probably put some foil on it. We're then going to move downstairs, demo the inside. We're then looking to shift a couple of walls, install some electrical, some plumbing, put a kitchen in, do some plaster, do some flooring, and then whack some paint on it as we walk out the door, hopefully leaving a really nice home that Mission Aviation Fellowship can use to support their staff and their partner organisations that work in Arnhem Land.
Well, my head's trying to do a few sums, and if you've got 25 homes and you're focusing on the month of August, you're going to need teams for all of those homes. So this is the challenge, isn't it, for tradies listening to us right now? Plumbers, electricians, carpenters, painters, plasterers. And I'm also assuming, and a little note I've got here, that air conditioning is part of the issue. Even some vehicles need some upgrading. So there might be some who might be working in all sorts of other trades too that can make a real difference here. So I want to give the website. It's maf.org.au. And for listeners connecting with MAF, Mission Aviation Fellowship, if they go to the website, they can simply get some more details and someone will be in touch with them. Is that the way it's likely to work? Who's best one on that, Trevor? That's the way it's likely to work?
Absolutely, that's the intention. So MAF have put together a website for us so that people can come and express their interest. We're asking for people to pray, give or go. So to pray for the teams, to pray for the right skills, the right resources, so that we can do the work that is critical. We're asking for people who could financially support the work if they can't go, or it isn't something that they can do in this time frame. We'd love their support. And then for the tradies that can get some time away, whether they can come for a week, 2 weeks, or for the full month, we would love to hear from you. And like I say, we can put together a package of work that will make a real impact for our frontline missionaries in Arnhem Land.
Now, it's pray, give or go. Let me just pause and dwell on give for a moment. Has anybody put a figure on the sort of dollars that might be necessary for some of these upgrades?
Yeah, look, Andrew's put together a big number, I'll say. But that's why I think this will be something that's going to be ongoing, Neil. We're aiming for this first run in August and then again potentially September, October before it gets too hot for us in the southern states. But I imagine there's going to be ongoing work potentially into next year at times that it makes sense from a condition and operational perspective. But yes, a big number. And we're asking God to open the floodgates and to support this important work. And I really, truly believe that God's going to provide the people and the finances to do what needs to be done. And we pray for good stewardship of whatever He supplies.
Well, it's a call out to tradespeople today. 25 missionary houses in Arnhem Land for those mission workers who do great work with Mission Aviation Fellowship, pilots, engineers, all of the people who make MAF happen. Here's the website once again, maf.org.au. Pray, give or go, maf.org.au. Trevor Hammersley and Andrew Neilson, thanks so much for taking some time to share this update with us today on 2020.
Thank you very much for your time, Neil. We really, really appreciate the opportunity.
Thanks, Neil.
Thanks for taking time to listen to this audio on demand from Vision Christian Media. To find out more about us, go to vision.org.au.